All right, so Bernie Sanders is going to be running in 2020 against not just all those other candidates. I think it's going to end up being more than 20 candidates. I'm not sure if all the people are in already. He's also going to be running up against, of course, the incumbent president, Trump, as well as the media, as well as a lot of voters who haven't let go of 2016. Talking about a lot of these people that would be called Hillbots. And I'm still looking at some of these people, especially on Twitter. Unfortunately, I think Twitter is still just this sanctuary for a lot of people who want to vent about politics, but they don't necessarily represent the public at large. And it's some of the same people, they're still amped up about the same issues that amped them up in 2016. And they should remember, because I haven't forgotten, they should remember that the real person who got in and cut the legs from under Bernie in a lot of situations in 2016 was David Brock. Okay, you don't have to be a Bernie Sanders supporter to understand that. I certainly was not a Bernie Sanders supporter. But I thought that was disgusting what they were doing, constantly just bringing up all sorts of retarded stuff, such as claiming that he's a misogynist, claiming that all of his supporters are white. All of his supporters they were trying to say that they were white guys. It was ridiculous. So I want you guys to know, people who watch this channel, so if you are following this race, I'm going to be investigating, I'm going to be following up with all the same leads, all the same type of investigation that I was carrying out last year. Now, during the 2016 race, it wasn't really my purview. First of all, I'm not a full-time journalist, but how many of those are there anyway now? Less and less, right? So it's going to be our responsibility. I'm taking it as my responsibility. But it's going to be our responsibility as people who watch this to say, when people propagandize and they use these super PACs and they use these proxy organizations like Media Matters to try to force public opinion to conform to a certain narrative, that's not something we should tolerate. Doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on. There's a lot of people who get their votes basically shat on because of the consensus and misogyny, male privilege, all that stuff. That's not what this election should be about. I think Bernie Sanders does have some issues that he wants to promote that are worthy of being heard. I think he's ignoring a lot of very important issues. I think he's basically traded in a lot of his credibility because he doesn't want to face the fact that the mainstream media, the Democratic establishment have forced him. They've basically taped his wrists and put him in the back of in the trunk of a car and forced him to conform to the Democratic agenda since 2016, lock, stock, and barrel regarding Russia, regarding national security, regarding the FBI and the deep state. And they want to keep him in their pockets, and they will. They were announcing his staff today. I think his campaign manager used to be a staffer for both Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi. So that's very progressive for you guys, right? Progressives, very progressive. Whatever the guy's name is, I don't even remember. So I'll talk to you guys later, and we're just going to keep working on it. You'll hear a lot from me.